Hi, everybody. It's Harvard Lawyer Lee. Today, I'm going to do an exhaustive discussion of all of the many brand new things that came out during the Dateline interview of Amber Heard this past Friday. Okay, yeah, there really wasn't very much, but there was one thing that came out that was very important. I want to talk about that, about why it matters. Amber Heard says that the judge kept out her psychiatric records where she talked to the psychiatrist or therapist in advance of any lawsuit or the divorce proceedings about abuse from Johnny Depp to her. She says if that had been let in, it would have made a difference. I want to talk about why the judge didn't let that information in, why it matters. Let's unpack that. I want to start with the actual interview clip where Amber Heard talks about this.
It would be a fair use for me to show you an actual clip of what Amber Heard said during the Dateline interview. But rather than have any disagreement at all about copyright, I'm going to tell you what she said. Savannah Guthrie asked her, is there one piece of evidence out there that you feel like if only you had been allowed to show the jury, it would have made a difference in the case? And Amber Heard responded immediately, promptly, and she said there was one thing. It was a binder full of notes from her doctor. She said it was years of notes dating back to 2011 from the very beginning of my relationship that were taken by my doctor. She actually meant not her doctor, but her therapist, and that difference matters. I'll talk about that in just a minute. According to Dateline, the things they found in those notes were that they thought, rose to the level of mentioning, were that the doctor took notes in January 2012 that said that Johnny Depp hit Amber and then threw her to the floor, that 8 months later that he ripped her nightgown and threw her on the bed, and in 2013 that he threw her against a wall and threatened to kill her. Amber said, look, these were contemporaneous. I was talking about what was happening. Dateline also mentioned one particular text message that had been sent to them by Amber Heard's lawyers, and in that text message from Amber to her therapist, she said that Johnny had, quote, done a number on her and that she thought she had a concussion.
So let's unpack that, because this is actually a real legal issue. This isn't just something that is a one-off dispute just between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It's actually something that lawyers, that judges, that courts disagree about. Here's what the issue is. The medical records, and there were many of them. You're probably wondering, why would this be a dispute? Why would letting these records be any different? Because medical records were admitted throughout the trial. Medical records, there was testimony by doctors about deeply personal, very intimate things, and that was all admitted at the trial. So why, you may be thinking, is there any difference? I don't understand. Well, the reason that the medical records were admitted is that medical records are an exception to the hearsay rule. Medical records, the belief is, are unique enough because when you go to the doctor and you're looking for a diagnosis or treatment, you're very likely, people have concluded, to tell the truth. Because if you say something that's false, you may get a wrong diagnosis or you may get wrong treatment. If you say your right elbow hurts and it was really your left elbow, then you're doing yourself no good. So the idea is that the reason that you go to the doctor is a protection. So even though it's hearsay because somebody who wasn't in court said to the doctor, I hit my elbow, even though that happened out of court, there's believed to be, it must be true because the person had a reason to tell the truth that was connected to the fact they were getting medical treatment. Well, there is a dispute about whether psychiatric records have that same sort of protection or maybe don't have it. If for nerds like me who think that this is really pretty fun and would like to go and read about this, there's a great article I'm going to link in the description below by Philip Hamilton, wrote it for the John Marshall Law Review. And he talks about some of the many reasons why courts sometimes treat psychiatric records differently from medical records. That's exactly what the judge did here. The judge said, look, these medical records are coming in, but I'm not letting the psychiatric notes come in. Some of the reasons would be that unlike a medical record, there's really no way to verify psychiatric diagnoses. It's not like you can do a blood test or check the x-ray or the MRI to verify that something really is wrong with the elbow. Instead, you're talking about people's feelings. And so by definition, that's difficult to verify. There's not a test for it. There's also kind of a different purpose. When you have a medical record, your purpose is to get treatment for one particular thing that's wrong or a certain symptom that you have. And it's different in a psychiatric setting because the psychiatrist or therapist and the patient are exploring the patient's feelings, trying to reach an understanding about what has happened. There's also a belief that sometimes in a psychiatric setting, patients may not be as honest because they may be talking about things that they may have handled in a poor fashion. They may be embarrassed about things. And so they're more likely to misreport or deceive or even not understand the truth themselves. It's also considered that medical treatment, you have to state the symptoms correctly in order to get the right treatment. But with psychiatric issues, it could well be that you can get the right treatment without knowing exactly how you got to the spot where you are, because the lead up to it is less important. And finally, there's a belief that sometimes it may be that psychiatric patients tend to be more self-serving in what they talk about with their therapists. So all of those are some of the reasons why this court decided, no, I'm not going to admit the therapist's notes. That's why Amber Heard is talking about this. It will be, if she appeals this case, it will be an issue on appeal. It will be an issue where she says to the court, these records are just as reliable as medical records. They should have been admitted. So that's the kind of argument that she would make on appeal. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.